Hello, no, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to my channel, 精灵国度 Fairyland. And today we have Lisa Clifford here, and thank you so much for accepting my invitation. She's going to share about firewalking today, and especially to discuss about the correlation or the relationship between firewalking and love transformation. I think it is a very alchemy thing. So maybe Lisa, can you introduce yourself? Even though I have put some of your bios down below my description box, but maybe it's good to have you to introduce yourself.
Lovely. Yes, thank you. And thank you so much, Sue, for having me on. It's a pleasure. At the heart of everything I do is about helping other people have the transformation that they need so they can live the life that they want, the way that they want. So free and liberated from the belief systems, the conditioning, the patterning that gets in the way of them having clarity over what they want, daring to dream big enough, having the belief system that allows them to take dynamic action. So that's at the heart of everything I do. And whether that's with people directly or with people that I train to be firewalking and empowerment instructors, which I do. So I'm a coach. I specialize in the mind. I'm a master practitioner of neuro-linguistic programming. I'm a behavior profiler. I love everything to do with our mind. And I'm a master firewalk and empowerment instructor trainer. So I have fully immersed myself to become an embodied leader in this world of transformation. And it's really important to me that I live by the teachings that the fire gives us, because they are just so rewarding over and over and over again.
How many years have you practicing this firewalking, and do you still remember your first training?
I have been a firewalking instructor since 2008. And I did my first ever firewalk with Tony Robbins, which was completely uninspiring and unduplicatable. But then one moment I had this idea. I was working with a group and I thought, they don't look any different. They were setting goals, and I thought their energy hasn't changed around their goals that I imagine they've carried forward from year to year to year. What can I do with them that will help them believe they can do anything their heart desires without a shadow of a doubt? And my mind said, you can be a firewalking instructor. And then another part of my mind said, don't be ridiculous. You're 5'1", you're a woman. Mm-hmm. Only the big SAS guys do it. And I didn't know anybody else that was a firewalking instructor. But it was like that whisper from my heart that I thought, I can't do that. And I had fear and uncertainty. But then I thought, I can't not do it. You know, when your heart speaks and you just think, but I can't not do this. Now that I know it's in me. And so then I trained with Peggy Dillon, who brought firewalking to the westernized culture. Must be about 45 years ago now. It was 35 years ago in 2008. So, and she's the mother of firewalking. And it was such a spiritual, heart-led experience that was without the ego, without pushing and shoving and forcing, but allowing. And then I was marveled at just what we were capable of when people just allowed us rather than told us, rather than you can do it, you know, that kind of energy. Just
yes.
That kind of, I know you've got everything you need inside you, and now it's for you to step forward. And that was empowerment, not the stand in a line and go in your turn and cool moss, that's not empowering, but the allowing.
I think it's very interesting because like firewalking, some people, because that is a very Asian and cultural things, But I think it's not just about a ceremony. To me, it's a ceremony, but it's more than a ceremony. And like some people, a lot of people out there, because there is a very amazing tools, but different people will be using in different way, and it matters a lot. So a lot of people saying even NLP, they're saying that, oh, there is some kind of like brainwashing. Maybe it's exactly just the way you just mentioned about, like, just, oh, go for it without any consciousness, and we just push. So if the people out there using this way, people will think that is like a nice thing, like brainwashing the other people, or pushing others into the limit in a dangerous way. So I want you to share more about that, because many people maybe, just seeing the videos or seeing the pictures, and then they will have that kind of thinking, preoccupying. So that I would like you to share more about in your experience, what is firewalking really about, and what does fire means for you?
And I completely understand why people would think it's not for them. Those were not your words, but I can completely understand why people would think it's not for them when they see videos out there, because some firewalking instructors do lead it that way. But the way I've been trained and the way that I train my students is the fire. So what the fire is for me, the fire is the teacher. The fire is the teacher. And we read the fire all the time. When I'm teaching my instructors, we're reading it, not reading, is it dangerous? Is it going to spread? Yes, that's a part of it. But what is the fire telling you? What are you feeling inside you that you need to know? And sometimes it'd be like, just take a step back. Sometimes their biggest lesson is that the fire was so hot, but I was braving it. But in life, they're like, oh, how often do I brave something when all I need to do is take a step back and be even more divine flow for whatever I'm in? So when I say the fire is the teacher, there are a million lessons the fire can give us. But it's what it shows, what we interpret within us. And the way I lead firewalks, it's always sacred. Everybody is sacred. And I don't run good time firewalks. The work is being done during the workshop, when people are connecting into their purpose, into their heart, into what they're ready to let go of, what they're ready to step into. And it's I get people that come on every firewalk I do, because then they're up leveling each time of being ready to let go, being ready to step into the next layer, and being braver of what they want clarity over. And so we have a whole ceremony around the fire of what we might call goal setting, but done in a really genuine, authentic, heart-centered way. And I have the most respect for the fire. And so the fire is sacred. How we build the fire is sacred. The intentions we put in as we're building are sacred. When we're setting the land out is sacred. All of it is sacred. And whether I'm doing it for a company or on my own training or one of my own firewalk evenings, it's non-negotiable. It is always sacred. And so it's an honor.
I think fire is a very important element, and like to me, it's like a vitality, it's like a purification, it's like a destruction and reborn. Yeah. And because I'm a holy fire Reiki master, so that I'm also very connected to fire energy. I think the fire element is really, really important to everyone. So that is why, remember how we met?
Yes.
That's why I'm very connected. So that we had the call, and then we just, to arrange a video call the next day. And then when we are seeing each other through the camera, and then we're just so connected. So I'm very, very respect you. And then and what I'm doing or what you're doing, I think is really important. Yeah, to share our values, to share our belief, and then what we want to bring to people, what message we want to share to the people. And that is why one of the reasons I want to do all this series of podcasting with different guests, that I think the energy wise, the mentality, I mean, like we know what we're doing, and then we share a similar mentality. Yeah. And so if that is a lot of things, like you said, a lot of people using that as a team building, as what I said, I think it can be, but it's always something more than that. So in this life, I want to touch about the love transformation. Can you share your experience or some of your story? Have you ever been witness any of your members, I mean, doing the firewalking, and then you see the transform something from love, something like that in this area?
I think there's a transformation that happens on the evening, whether they work for a company or not. We're all human, so I run them all the same, because there are great lessons all the way through. Without a doubt, you see people have an awareness of, I can even do that, so therefore what else is possible? And just that change of thinking is a transformation. And then it's later that the transformation gets applied in life. People have a transformation, but then it's later that how they walk through life, how they speak up, how they let things go, how they are no longer triggered by certain things. And we're always just working on layers, how that then presents itself, how they present themselves through life, how they notice it. And I've had people on my firewalks that I've only found out later have been in house fires, whose parents have been in coffee cart explosions, who have, who's had people who've had their partners try to strangle them, and then we do the arrow break. And because it's held so sacredly, the arrow break with the throat. And I know you've got a video, and you'll see it in the video, but it's held so sacredly, they know the power, they know the medicine that they want from the exercise. And so there's always that invitation to heal, always that invitation to grow. There's always that invitation to let go. And so I've had a mixture of people have fire kisses, and the fire kisses on their feet relate to a meaning for them. And so, with reflexology, the origin of the fire kiss, the space, the part of the foot that it happens represents an organ, that represents an emotion, and that emotion has had intense healing. And they've said, that's amazing. That spot there, I have got problems with my digestion system, or heart, or seeing, or not wanting to see things clearly. And that they then get the medicine after seeing where they've had a fire kiss. And some people might think a fire kiss, a small blister, is a failing of walking on fire. It's a rite of passage. And then I've had people that have walked over and over and over and over until they get one, because they want the healing. And so it's just the as you would call it, the ceremony, the honoring, the rebirth, the letting go that people experience on the night, that often I don't get to see in their life, but then they'll send me a note to say, I've been putting something off for ages and I've just gone and done it. I normally don't speak up in meetings, and I'm now speaking up and I'm being heard and valued. I wasn't ready to move on from my relationship, but now I am. You know, I've got a better relationship with my partner because I'm listening with curiosity rather than expectation. And so there are so many. And then even the people that are trained to be firewalking instructors, whether they ever lead a firewalk or not, they are forever changed as an embodied leader.
It's life-changing.
It's life-changing. It completely is, because they've had an immersive 6 whole days of these teachings, but the work is done on them as well as them learning how to do it on others. So it works on 3 different levels. And once they've been through that, they struggle to find the words of the most transformational thing they've ever experienced, or some of them the best training they've ever had, that they feel confident and ready to go out in the world and lead this work. I have to say, the people I get to train are pretty phenomenal people, and they're all heart-led leaders.
Yeah, I know that. Like if we are talking about something about that, the audience listening, and then it's on our mental level. We have the 3 bowls: intellect bowl, feeling bowl, and also I forgot the name. So that in
Physical.
the end, yeah, we need to manifest, we need to action. So sometimes when we're talking about something, personal growth, spirituality, how you love, how we receive love, anything, and then like we want to get the answer, we want to make changes, but sometimes we're just maybe staying on the intellect level. But I think firewalking is something you through the action, and then the process, and then the journey is you need to quiet your mind maybe before you walk the fire. Everyone is different. Just let's say if I imagine that's for myself, I require myself, I need to focus, and then throughout the whole time, maybe I can really connect my inner self at that moment, and then maybe just very simple, the answer just arise.
Absolutely. It's really
like
about
a mirror.
It's about quietening that internal dialogue that wants to get in the way, that wants to stop you because it wants to keep you safe. It doesn't want to have to work so hard at keeping you safe. It's about quietening that down, getting out of your own way, letting go of the stories that we've told ourselves, and then breathing and listening. And then you just think, oh, your conscious mind's like, oh, we're walking over the coals. And of course I teach people how to do it, but it's not the how to do it. It's who to be whilst you're doing it. And the how is straightforward. We walk around. Taking steps is really straightforward. But who you're being is everything. And when you walk through life in the same way you walk over fire, consciously, in your heart, trusting yourself, ready to go. So we always have our shoes and socks off around the fire, regardless if somebody's made their mind up that they're going over or they're not, because I want everybody to live life in a way that if they're ready to go, there isn't a barrier there, and there certainly isn't a barrier that they've put there. So shoes and socks are always off, and that always represents always be in a position that you can launch forward when you feel that feeling, and then you can move with it. And so whilst I'm teaching people to walk on fire, actually I'm teaching people, like, imagine if you lived life removing your own barriers, your own shoes and socks, so that when you're ready to go, you can go. When you feel the feeling, you can move with the feeling. And so when we come to walking over the fire, somehow we have this feeling and we notice that our feet are moving and our brain's like, oh, we're going. So our brain's second to our inner knowing, our inner trust, our knowing of what's good for us, our connection.
And sometimes when we're talking about like walking the fire can apply to like how we walk through our life. And then a lot of my friends, my clients or my students, they're all saying that, okay, actually I'm doing the things in my life very consciously, but sometimes they didn't even realize. They think that is in their own conscious, but maybe that is a pattern things, or maybe that is just an autopilot, but they think that they are doing that consciously. So I think that the magical thing is when we're really doing the firewalking, a very sacred ceremony. Sometimes when we quiet our mind, when we really connect with ourselves, and then we start to know that what kind of fears we are having, really, and then we can lie to ourselves anymore. Because it is so obvious, and then you can see that, like you can see that yourself, and then you know how to change it if you want to change it. Because I think the first very important, you need to see that.
Yes,
You need to
exactly.
see that, and then that I think creates that space for us, an opportunity, and then a possibility. And because we're talking a lot about firewalking, I bet so many people out there, they don't even know what is that really about, even though maybe searching on the internet. So that I have a video from Lisa. Maybe let's have a look. Just a moment.
It's been the most incredible experience and I've just loved it. Gosh, very emotional, very moving. I feel very connected to everybody here.
It's excelled everything. My heart is bursting.
I just bloody love that woman. She's amazing. She's just an incredible superstar.
Oh, Lisa, you changed my life. You don't understand how powerful you are.
Oh, I've got goosebumps. Oh, thank you for sharing that. Honestly, that was one of my events that, you know, as a firewalking and empowerment instructor, I get to lead. So it was one of my own, one for International Women's Day. And so there were lots of components in it.
Is it 8th of March?
Say that again?
8th of March?
Yes, yes. And, you know, when they stood up and applauded, whilst they were standing and applauding for me, actually, they were applauding themselves, because what they'd achieved in that day was phenomenal, and they loved the way that they felt, and they bottle it, and they remind themselves. The number of people that tell me, I remind myself I walked on broken glass, I remind myself I walked over those ruby red coals, and before I, you know, let fear decide what I am and aren't going to do, I remind myself I broke an arrow in my throat. So remember I was saying about the arrow break, somebody claiming back their power, you know, people who have had a fear of speaking up, and as children probably been, you know, shh, don't upset your dad, and, you know, children are seen and not heard, and then their expression gets suppressed, and the arrow break is so powerful that it gives people their throat chakra back, you know. So
Throat chakra, yeah.
Yeah.
I just have a look on my phone. It's 1111 now. Cheers.
Yes.
Oh, I'm still, when I'm showing the video, I watched it before when Lisa sent to me. I was already so moved. I don't know why. It's so touching. I just feeling so touching. And then I want to cry, but in a good way. Yeah. And then just a moment ago when I share it again, and then I rewatching it, and then I still had the same feeling. And that is a very, very strong emotions inside me. I don't know why, but yeah. But I think that is something really powerful, and that is what you're saying, that empowerment. I think, I don't know, maybe one of your mission, maybe It's like to motivate people or to reminding people how to claim in their own power, and then that is empowerment.
It is. And, you know, that emotion you've got rising up inside you, I feel is your knowing that you're meant to do this in the world. And that and from a place of your community will feel unstoppable. I think that rising up, that feeling of emotion rising up, is that kind of respect for what you've just seen and that people stepped up to do it.
Yeah.
And when you're with a group of people, and I basically am a space holder, ultimately very skilled in terms of I bring these, you know, the fire, the arrow, the glass, the board break, the rebar bend, but it's in the breathing space between them that we drop into a knowing, and that we let go of a story that is, and when we witness it, I think the fact that you witnessed it, you know, watching everybody watching and witnessing those people who stepped up when nobody was pushed. I say, you don't have to do this. I won't be counting who's doing it, who's not doing it. You just step up when it feels good for you. There's something about that kind of permission that is deep. Because so often in life, we feel that we have to queue and take our turn and go when we're told. We're kind of managed quite a bit, and then not to be managed, and then people to have that check in with themselves and do it. It's just, I don't know, it's witnessing people. And as a space holder, it's about not over facilitating what they got out of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you're a space holder as well, aren't you? And
yeah, you like very neutral, like yin yang. You need to be like a centering. You need to facilitate. You need to guide them, but definitely not like what you said, over facilitating. Otherwise, it will be like, it's your way. It's not their way. You're just guiding them to walking on their own path. Yeah. Actually, we're just like shining some lights, and then they can see the roads, and then they can be, I mean, they still have the freedom and the choices. Yeah.
And in my training, I teach non-rescue facilitation.
Non-rescue.
Non-rescue, yeah. Where say
that's a great word.
Yeah, because so often people have got the fear about stepping up and doing the arrow break. I never say, right, come on, you're doing it next, or oh, you can do it, because that doesn't lead to people feeling empowered.
Yes.
It's the reverse
the way
of it.
around.
Because I have to create a model that if they're on their own, that they can do it. And so non-rescue facilitation is where empowerment gets to be birthed.
Yeah.
It's not just in doing the exercise, the arrow or the rebar, walking on coals. It's I stepped up without being told. I stepped up without being shepherded. I stepped up even with fear.
Yeah. And you usually ask the participant to set an intention, like the goal setting?
I think the Firewalking teaches intention setting.
Yes.
As one of the being conscious and being intentional about what you want, or how you want to live your life, or who you're going to be. And I think that is the overriding teaching that we can take into everyday life for everything. And it just means that we are being consciously responsible of who we are and how we show up.
But what if the people saying that I have so many things I want to change in life, so many areas? How do I set the intention? If someone is asking you like that, And then what's your advice to them?
So if somebody wants to change a lot of areas in their life, how do they set intention? I think this is actually a more complex answer. First of all, what do they want their life to look like? If they want to change lots of areas, then what is it that they want their life to look like, and who do they want to be in it? Because otherwise, if we're just looking at changing things, we need to know into what. I have all these ingredients and we want to bake a cake, but what cake are we baking? And then we can set an intention of that every day, every moment of every day, I'm able to be the version of me that is getting closer
to
that life that I want.
Yeah.
Or I'm able to see the opportunities that lead me to that life that I want. Or I'm able to let go of the thinking that gets in the way of me having the life that I want. I mean, there's so many different intentions you can set. Today, I'm going to take one action that's going to take me closer to the life that I want. Today, I'm going to stop minimizing myself. Today, I'm going to stop compromising. Today, I'm going to stop tolerating. Today, I'm going to be brave. You know, there's lots of different things that we can do. But I would say a couple of intentions a day and do them daily, but mean them. And then the way that I set intentions is I set an embodied intention. So I imagine, and this is how people walk on the fire, I imagine that I'm in the experience of my intention, not just it's on a list and I'm saying the words. I imagine to say,
visualize.
Yes, I imagine. Say one of my intentions is that I want my body to feel light and bright. So the goal, if the intention was a goal, the goal is to be a certain amount of weight. The goal is to have a certain amount of energy out of 10, and my mood to be a certain amount out of 10. For my brain to be sharp and bright out of 10. So that's the goal. And so when I'm doing an embodied intention, I imagine that I am moving through my life, that version of me. And I don't stop imagining until I feel it in this body, not just in the knowing body, but in this body. And that I'm going to act as though I am it in everything that I do. So who would I be? How would I be being if I was light and bright and great energy, great focus, my body feeling like my mood amazing? How would that make? And then I see it and feel it so deeply, I am it. And that's an embodied intention. So if somebody's got a lot of things they want to change in their life, then we need to do it a little bit at a time, but we need to be clear about what we want our life to look like.
Yeah, I think that is so true. It's like when you focus on what things you want to change, it means that what you don't like. But when you're thinking about what you want it to be, and then that is the point.
Yes, you're so right.
Yeah,
you're so right.
And can I just ask you a question? Maybe for some of my audience, like, if they're always feeling getting hurt because of, not say the other people, say let's say for me, if I'm like, I always in my earlier days I used it to say that I think I'm too fragile, I think I'm too vulnerable. So when I'm using the word too, or I say I'm too sensitive, actually the hidden meaning, the hidden message of myself is like, I'm always being disappointed by people. But I think even when I'm feeling hurt, and I can even say it, like, I always doubt if that is my problem. It's not why I'm always feeling hurt. So that maybe I'm too sensitive, maybe I'm too fragile, maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I'm too emotional. So because I saw one of your sharing on Facebook, when sometimes when you're really having that kind of feeling, because maybe logically you'll be talking to yourself like it's not your problem, but you really have that kind of feeling in you. And all people like very empathic, and then they can really detach. And I think lots of time in this day, for lots of people who are more, or empathic, and then can feeling the people's feeling, it is a little bit harder for them. And then they are always feeling getting hurt or being disappointed by people or things around themselves, and they don't even know how to justify or make sense with all these things. So I just want to hear about your sharing. I think maybe my feeling is maybe there are some people who needs the messages from us about that. That is just my intuition why I will be setting love transformation for this podcasting.
Yeah. So there's a few things in what you've said. One is the stories that we tell ourselves about ourselves. So I'm too fragile, I'm too vulnerable, I'm too sensitive. They sound like things that somebody else has said that then has become your story. And so I would like be checking in first with, who told me I was those things? Because that body of I'm too fragile, I'm too sensitive, I'm too vulnerable is going to feel ouch, 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 ouch all the time, isn't it? Because we're going around like, oh, I'm too sensitive, I'm too fragile, I'm too vulnerable.
I'm too emotional, I'm too much, just too much.
Yeah, and I wonder who we would be, or who you would be, or who anybody would be without that belief about themselves. You know, I think it starts with that initial belief, because then when we believe that about ourselves, and the story we tell ourselves that I am too sensitive, too fragile, too vulnerable, then our brain is hardwired to look for where danger is, where we're going to get wounded. And then we see it when it's not really there. Because when you are too fragile, too sensitive, too vulnerable, then you're walking around looking to protect yourself, because you're going to be feeling sensitivity over everything. So then we make things have meaning that haven't come with meaning. We're making things personalized when they're not personal. Does that make sense? So that's the first step of what is the messaging we're telling our body and our mind, that our mind is then looking out for the modern version of saber-toothed tigers. So somebody not returning our call, somebody being abrupt with us, somebody cancelling us, somebody talking about themselves and not asking how we are, somebody being insensitive. We think those things are deliberate and aimed at us. But then coupled with it being direct, we think it's directed to us. What also goes with it is the victim, the compounding of that messaging. The brain was right to be worried. And so, and really, I believe, and maybe it's true, this belief, and maybe it's not, but I like it because I feel ease when I think it, that when somebody is cancelling, deleting us, abrupt, harsh, in a rush, selfish, not including us, any of those things, I believe that is their current best. And so much that people go through, and so much of their actions or behaviors are a consequence of their own inner thinking, and they're not actually a towards execution. They're just a from, but they're not a towards. So they're not meant for me. It's just their behavior is just happening to clash all over my I'm too vulnerable, I'm too sensitive, I'm too fragile, I'm not enough. So we make their behavior have meaning, that they're aiming it at us, and then we get even more wounded.
Yeah.
And then we're looking out for it everywhere. But really, if we consider that it might be a possibility, it might not be. They might actually be very mean people, in which case we need to do what dogs do and just go a different direction. But just maybe their behaviors are the symptoms of what's going on for them, and this is their current best. So if their current best is you're feeling hurt by, then the chances are that you've got a storyline that's not helpful for yourself, and they're hurt, they're hurting. And they're not thinking, they're not imagining for 1 minute how their behavior is playing out in your life. Otherwise, they'd course correct, because 99.9% of people actually want to be liked. They want to have a good reputation. They want to be thought of well. They want to be seen as good, and they actually want to be good. So if their behavior is consistently that way, then it's probably their character, or they're going through a really bad time over a long period. And so when you remove yourself from this is aimed towards me, and rather this is just coming from this person, when that changes, we kind of change the orientation of ourselves in that. We don't make it mean as much as we're making it mean. So we actually free ourselves from the punishment that behavior gives us an opportunity to apply. Because I think
there's like two things from what you're just sharing. Is like you just talk about it may be true, it may be not true, and then I'm feeling okay of having that feeling. I think that is the starting form of a self-acceptance. And then once you have the self-acceptance, and then you can accept the others. The accept the others is like it's not like I agree with what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's like what you're saying, that I can understand what they're coming from.
Yep. Yeah. It takes courage. So it takes courage to see someone's behavior when we have an expectation of them, or we know them to be better. It takes courage to look at the bigger picture and accept that they are doing that, or there's something that they're not doing. It's courage to see all of that, rather than just that minutia that we feel is aimed at us. And you're so right. It's about, I accept myself. I accept and honor that I'm not perfect.
And it's okay to have all this feeling, and then even though it's just like a phrase, you name it sensitive, fragile, and like that is no TOO. If that is your true feelings, that is your true feelings. And then maybe there is a reason behind that, like maybe that is the fragile, the sensitivity is like maybe you're getting hurt before and then you coked up. And then that is very normal. You have this mechanism to have this feeling. And so you need to understand, and then you can accept, because lots of people, I'm always hearing they're saying that I don't like that. I don't like that version of myself. And then I ask them, what version of yourself you don't like? What are you really talking about? And then they will be saying like, I don't like that. I'm showing my weakness. I'm crying, and then or I'm so upset. And I can make sense with that. It's not me. It's I don't feel like that is myself. But that is your true feelings. You have to honor your true feelings. And then, because in modern days, we need to be look like I'm a really good people. I understand about others. I need to be generous. I can't be mean. So I'm not saying this is not a good thing. But imagine when I'm really feeling hurt, I can really express it, because if I express it, it means I'm not strong person. Modern days, the people always honor, oh, you're so strong. It's a good thing. But if you're so weak, that is not so good. And then it's good, like you share things with people, that means it's really generous. What about if I don't really want to share about my things to other people? I can really express my true feelings, because others will be label me like I'm not generous, I'm so mean, something like that. So what I'm talking about, self-acceptance, is like you just express your feelings truly, and that is what you feel, because I think the feeling can never lie.
I think it can, though, as well, because
Yes.
because it can come from a thought. So if we're completely clear of thinking and we had a feeling, then yes, I completely agree. But we also have feelings from our thinking.
Okay.
So
how can you tell us something more about that?
Yes. So a friend of mine, I love her dearly. I sent her a message yesterday of my new golden retriever.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. She's a rescue and she's just adorable. The golden retriever, that is, not my friend. And so this is just an example of our thinking mind. And so I sent her a picture yesterday. I knew she'd been on holiday. I didn't know when she was back, and she hadn't answered my message before that either. And so I thought I thought that's really strange. Is she ignoring me? Has she fallen out with me? Have I done something wrong? And then I got this feeling of, I've done something wrong. Dread.
You got that feeling?
I got that feeling.
Okay.
From those thoughts.
Mm.
Now, when I had the thought of, she's busy. She is busy and she loves me, then the feelings went. And then I sent her a message saying, why are you not replying? Nice and direct. And not in a bad way. Hopefully she'll have read it as in, oh yeah, I've not replied. And then she rang me. And and I never said, what's going on? Why have you not replied? We were straight into our normal relationship and talking about Lola, the new dog. No. So I had the feeling of dread and sadness. So I had those feelings, but they were created from thinking that were just assumptions. So that's what I mean.
Based on your assumption.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. Well, our thinking mind is often assumptions unless we're recalling facts. And even when we're recalling facts, they're filtered through the perspective that we want to see it through. So they might, and then create feelings. So they might even not be true then. So does that make sense?
Yes, I think I can understand what you're saying. Like in some cases, when I'm talking to people, really, really nice conversation, but suddenly I feel I'm being attacked energy-wise.
Do you?
Yes. So that, because I trust my that kind of feeling and intuition, even though we had a really, really nice conversation, I had this feeling so strong. It's just not like a feeling. It's just like a feeling plus the knowing. And then I will be starting to walking away.
Yeah.
So that is really like the feeling.
So I think we're talking about, because I agree with you as well completely, that there's two ways feelings are created. And I mean, I massively believe our feelings are communicators. And I agree with you. And I also think that what the mind has done is it's calibrated what somebody's like when they're engaged and they're on board. And then they do something different. And they're not in that calibrated on board state.
Yes.
They're in a different state. So your nervous system goes, be careful. There's something not to trust here because there's an inconsistency. And so you start to think, right, I can't see the model of the inconsistency consciously right now because I'm busy interviewing them. And so therefore, I'm just going to start to protect. And the moving away is what you would move away energetically, you'd move away in your engagement, your connection. And it's actually the emotional version of what we would do if we saw a bear.
Yes.
We'd actually start stepping away.
Fight or
slowly. We'd be going very slow. We won't run. But we do that. We do that in our communication, don't we? And so I think that that's your very incredible capacity to read people that then tells you, hang on, they're out of kilter of what true feels like. And now there's something different happening. And so like you, I trust my feelings. I also know, though, when they've come from assumptions or my thinking mind trying on different scenarios.
From your mind, from your heart, or from there. Yeah. And okay, let's talking back to Firewalk. I know you will be having a Firewalk training.
14th
end of the year.
14th to the 19th of November. It's in the most gorgeous country house estate, big stately home. I've hired everything. There's only 7 places available on it. There's only 7 places available on this next training because I like to give people all the attention that like we have just now. So I'd rather make a lot less money, have a lot few people there, but a lot of people that having an amazing experience.
I will put is it a website of yourself or something?
Yes.
I've
put it on the screen. lisaclifford.co.uk is my website.
Yeah, I will also copy this into my description box so that everyone, if they want to know more about Firewalking, or that's I think it was just like a very amazing retreat. And then even though you don't really know what Firewalking is about, I think it's a very good opportunity, like what we're just saying, like you can quiet your mind and then meeting the people with the same energy and the mentality. And then you can take a look. I think Lisa's website's got tons of information out there. Yeah. And so if someone is watching this live and going through a difficult time, what would you tell them about walking through their own fire?
Number one, I've just seen Hill's questions show up. We'll get to that. Number one, be really gentle on yourself. If you're going through a really difficult time, you're walking your own fire, be really in your heart. Ask yourself, what would love do here? Avoid being defensive, protective, expectations, or even combative. Avoid retaliation. See things exactly as they are, not worse, not better, and know that this is a rite of passage. This hard time is you're our university of life. You know, at the end of it, you will have a treasure chest of gems that will serve your future moving forward. But first, you must move through it, but move through with grace and as close to it as you can for yourself, so that you don't accidentally injure yourself with your thinking. And just, I would just keep checking in. What would love do now? It doesn't mean allowing someone to be difficult with you. It might
interrupt you, Nisa, quickly. We're often very familiar about checking in, but what is that? Because a lot of people don't even know about check-in.
go, close your eyes and you go into yourself and you ask yourself, what do I need to know about this situation? What's true? What do I know to be factually true? So you ask yourself the questions rather than being caught up in a dynamic of reaction, whether it's reacting to the situation or to somebody else. So just check in and think, ask yourself the questions. What would love do in this situation? Let it go, or have a perspective of compassion. Or so the checking in is asking yourself the questions, like Sue would do if you're on her amazing Reiki course or in a session with her. She would ask you the question, and that's her checking in with you. And the answer is never for Sue. The answer is always for you. Yeah. So I think
how you connect with your inner voice, inner self.
Yeah. Yes. I think it's always really important that you listen to yourself more than you listen to other people, because they'll give you advice based on their path that they're walking, not yours, with your unique wisdom, knowings. So your own advice is the best advice and the most courageous to follow, but also the most perfect for you to follow. Yeah.
And yourself, not the people, is also about your true self, your authentic self. It's not your ideal self. It's not about the self you used it to think about who you are, but you really collected and really being honest with yourself. And yeah, so that voice arise, and then it's really important to do the checking. So that is why we people always will be saying checking, and that is how we're doing that with the attention, with the love.
And even just going on that note, so even the question of asking, if this was my fearful self reacting, then what would my most secure, balanced, centered self, what would that part of me think and feel right now? How would I see that right now? Because there's no doubt that when we get triggered, we actually get set back to the age that the trigger was created, and then that version of us reacts, doesn't it? So I mean, it's complex. It's a brilliant question.
Yes, but yes, it's complex. It's not we can talk about that in 1 minute or 2 minutes, but it's always good to let people know a little bit more about that. And can you maybe, and because it's already 58 minutes,
yes,
a question from Hughes. I think
how long do you
US?
So I'm guessing the fire we're talking about, the coals. It depends who you're with. Some firewalking instructors create a 3-step firewalk, and then you do that, and then we make it longer and longer and longer. So I've done 120-foot firewalk for my graduates, because that group were like hungry for more. And I've also done 5-foot firewalk. So it really depends on your firewalking instructor as to how long your fire is. I like to do a shorter one, then make it longer. And if you think, right, yes, I can do the longer one, and I can do it. And I think that applies to life. Do a little bit and then see how much more you can do, rather than think I have to do 20-foot or nothing. Yeah.
So it depends.
It depends. Yes, it depends
Yeah.
who the instructor is, who's facilitating it, and if they've read the group.
And the other question from Pothole. But how come one has that kind of feelings, fragile, sensitive, or being hurt by a particular person, even is a minor thing? Have you used the words minor thing? I can't recall that.
I mean, I don't think it's minor. What I would say is, when we say I am these things, that it's important to check, am I those things, or have I been told I'm those things? I don't consider our feelings to be minor. I just wonder if the thinking that's created the feelings are true. I mean, the truth is our feelings are everything, because we have thoughts, feelings, and action. So if our feelings are saying go for it, then we go for it. And if our feelings are like, no, I'm in fear, I'm hurt, I need to protect, I need to withdraw, then we're going to have inaction. So my truth about feelings is that they're not minor. So I wonder if I've been, maybe I said that and it was misheard, but I believe our feelings are the activators of action or inaction. So they're pretty major, to be clear. Thank you, Sue.
And I think like what we talked before is like, firstly we need to accept ourselves to have all this feeling. So that is self-acceptance. We didn't say that we're not honor the feeling, and then because this is a minor thing, so that we don't have to honor this feeling, or we don't have to have this feeling. We never say about that. What we're saying is we need to accept, and that is part of self-acceptance. And then you can accept the other, like understand that, oh, what they're coming from, and that is not towards you.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But I think I always check in, what are the thoughts, what are the beliefs, what are the thoughts, what are the assumptions that's creating this feeling? Because that feeling will determine what we do. And if the thinking is inaccurate, because we're coming from fear or assumptions, we haven't got all the information, we're thinking about the worst case scenario, so it's created this feeling. If those thoughts are inaccurate, then the feelings can be adjusted to more resourceful feelings if we come from a place of fact and knowing as well. Yeah, it's a lot, because what you've done.
But Lisa, to me, sometimes I would be thinking like, so what? So if let's assume that is really a true story, and then when I'm get this feeling, this is so normal, and then so what? Why can't we have this feeling of being hurt? If we are really feeling hurt, or if there is really someone is hurting you, let's just assume that is true. So what's wrong about that? So, yeah, that is sometimes that is my question. So, like, we need to be gentle to ourselves, or to, let's say easy, and then sometimes we're the most harsh to our own self. So we're judging ourselves when, like, in another way, we're judging about ourselves. Seems like you're just about the other, because it's someone out there that is a identity is hurting you. You seems like you're judging the others, but actually you're judging about yourself. If you're not judging about yourself, and then just back to the point, like, you can understand what or why they're coming from, and then maybe you can have that feeling, but very quickly, and then that goes away.
Yeah, we don't have to hold on. I think is what you're saying. Like,
yes.
So people often say, I don't want to set that goal too big in case I'm disappointed. And I get them to describe, what is disappointment? And it's hard for them to find all the words for it, and yet it's something that they are.
Something I expect something, and
Yeah.
then maybe that is out of my expectation, so that caused the disappointment.
Yeah, that's that. But what is the feeling of disappointment?
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Because we're avoiding the what if I feel disappointed, and so when I get people to describe it, they can't actually describe it, and then they have this light bulb moment of, I've been avoiding feeling a feeling that I don't even know what it is nor can describe, so I don't need to worry about feeling disappointed.
Yeah. Oh, that is a good one.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. So
is it like a kind of a high level of self-awareness, right? Mm-hmm.
And so I think that there are so many things that we feel that if we just checked in, that we might not need to feel some of the feelings because they've stemmed from some thinking that isn't true. Then there's things that are absolutely, as you say, categorically true. And it's important that we do be with those feelings, not try to deny them, not try to like affirm ourselves out of them, and not try and busy ourselves or numb ourselves out of them, that we are with them and we nourish ourselves and honor ourselves and be gentle with ourselves as well.
It's a little bit similar to a grievance process. I think you be with the feeling doesn't mean like you're clinging on that or dragging on. You just be with them, and then that will be going away much quicker.
Yeah, that's exactly what
you're avoiding them.
It's exactly what I was thinking of, was grief.
Yes.
So you tuned into that
grievance process. Yeah, we need. Yeah,
it is. And you know, I recently lost a very close friend, and not to death, but just out of my life. And yesterday, as I was driving to Canterbury to collect this dog, I had thoughts about this person that were factual. I was remembering things in my mind, and I had some sadness. And then I had some other thoughts, and my feelings changed. But I honored the sadness rather than thought, I don't want to feel sad. I need to move on. You know, I need to be past this. I just thought, I'm just going to be with it. It's come up. I'm just going to be with it. And then I had some other thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you don't have really like, okay, I need to have what kind of feeling. I need not to be sad, or I need to be feeling wise. If what kind of feeling arises, you just be with it. You just be with it.
Yeah.
Some people, when I'm facing a situation or a scenario, I share my experience with them. And some people will be saying like, oh my God, Fairy, I got the similar experience like you. But my feelings is not the same. Is that my problem? No, you don't have to have my feeling even, going through a similar situation or scenario. We just went, what kind of feeling arise from you? You just be with it. The first thing, just be with it.
Absolutely, without judgment, without criticism, without trying to change it or alter it. Just be. Perfect.
Yeah. And because it's already over an hour before we end this live, I want to ask you a question, Lisa. Is there a message from the fire, if you can checking in with the fire energy now, that you would like to share with the souls listening today? I'm holding the space for you.
I immediately got it. I imagined the fire, and the words were, stop overthinking. All of us overthinking. Stop the thinking mind from managing us. And it's something you actually said earlier, which was about, you know, you just, when you clear yourself of your thinking mind, you're just left to what the truth is, your heart, and following your heart. So immediately I saw the big flames of the fire, and the message was clear: stop overthinking.
I would happy here.
Yeah. Because it's also the overthinking that makes us want to find fault in others, that wants to correct others, that wants to prove that they're right and the other person's wrong. Or that overthinking is so unhelpful to a more resourceful state of being. The overthinking gets in the way of us trusting ourselves, creates judgments and criticisms, see things that are there and see things that aren't there. We just don't need to think quite so much. We can go into that feeling body.
And Pat Ho just gave us a super sticker.
Thank you, lovely.
And she's saying that thank you, Fairy. You have Lisa talking about this topic. I think Lisa is very, very experienced, and then we are on this journey for a long time, and ups and downs, I believe. And then maybe next time, if there is chance, I will be inviting Lisa to discuss some other things about spirituality, personal growth. Yeah, if you want to.
I'd love to. You're a brilliant interviewer, conversationalist, connector, Sue. I've absolutely really enjoyed our connection and conversation.
And then I really need to thank you, Lisa, once again, because actually she's very, very tired. And then can I tell the others what you were doing yesterday? 10 hours drive, same day on the road to pick up her lovely new wet secure golden retriever adorable dog. And
10 hours.
She didn't sleep at all, and then she's still going on for my life today. So I'm so grateful, and then I'm very, very happy to have this conversation with you, and then I can feel your energy and then your love. I think this is very important. Like sometimes a lot of things is beyond words, and then I can really feel this energy, and then that is why you're one of my leads to get you in my podcasting. And then so I don't know what to say now, but really thank you, Lisa.
Thank you. It's been amazing, and your
So easy today,
viewers
Lisa.
have been amazing.
Yeah, they are really good. And then I think even though they may not 100% understand what we are talking about today, but I think they will be getting something out of that, especially when we are talking about the love, the transformation. And remember the firewalking. I think this is really amazing. We still have a lot of things didn't really touch about on the firewalking, so that maybe next time we will be discussing another area about firewalking. And Lisa's website, lisaclifford.co.uk. And if you guys really want to know more about firewalking or what Lisa's doing, just check in there.
There's lovely comments coming up down the side. You're all so welcome. I'd love to come back again.
Lisa doesn't look tired at all.
Yeah, thank you. That's lipstick.
So okay, our live will be coming to the end here. So see you all next time. Please subscribe my channel if you like it, share or comment. And then Lisa will be very happy to see you guys comment. If you have any questions about firewalking, you can also PM Lisa, and then I'm very sure she will be happy to answer all of your questions if she can.
Completely. Thank you, darling.
Thanks.
It's been an honor.
Bye.